Good evening, light bearers. Welcome. There comes a moment in the soul's journey when life stops making sense. People turn against you, doors close, you feel submerged emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, and you ask why. Tonight, we are going to uncover the metaphysical meaning of Psalm 69, 109, and 119. Because these Psalms do not describe punishment, they describe awakening. Section 1, Psalm 69, the soul drowning in chaos. Save me, O God, for the waters are come in unto my soul. Psalm 69, 1. The waters represent emotional overwhelm, not physical danger, but emotional and spiritual submersion. This is the moment when the old identity begins dissolving. Everything external that once gave stability begins collapsing. Relationships, comfort, certainty, because your soul is being separated from external dependency. You are not drowning, you are being purified. I am weary of my crying, my throat is dried. Psalm 69, 3. This is exhaustion from trying to survive in systems that were never aligned with your truth. The soul is tired of performing a false identity, so it begins dissolving it. Psalm 109, the betrayal and collapse of false structures. For my love, they are my adversaries. Psalm 109, verse 4. Metaphysical explanation. This reveals a painful truth. Not everyone aligned with you was aligned with your growth. Some are aligned with your limitations. When your frequency rises, misaligned energies begin separating. Not because they hate you, but because they cannot exist where you are going. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Psalms 109, 8. This is not a physical harm. This represents ego death. False identities cannot survive in the truth. False roles will collapse. False relationships dissolve. False systems lose power because truth is correcting distortion. This is energetic justice, not punishment. Correction. Psalms 119, return to inner divine law. Welcome, Martish Log. Thy word have I hid in mine heart. Psalms 119:11. The word is not external text, it is divine frequency. Truth encoded within your consciousness. You stop looking outside yourself for validation because divine law was always within you. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Psalms 119, verse 105. Hey, that guy from Texas. Thank you for being here. Consciousness itself becomes your guide. No more confusion, no more dependency. You move from external authority to internal alignment. The full journey. Psalm 69 represents drowning. Psalms 109 represents confrontation. And Psalms 119 represents integration. This is the journey of awakening. You lose what was never truly aligned. You confront what was hidden, and you become aligned with divine truth within yourself. They thought you were drowning, but you were being reborn. They thought you were breaking, but you were becoming whole. They thought their betrayal would destroy you, but it revealed you. Because divine law was never outside you, it was always within you, and now you remember. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit over just how powerful, and the various things you can do with Psalms, because I talked before in the past here on my YouTube about how I had to utilize Psalms when I was being like either harassed or stressed on the workplace, and I was told to every night what I had to do was take that book of Psalms. I think I'm pretty sure it was in chapter 119, and it had to been one through something. Can't remember directly, but it's about your enemies and well, those who go against you. And So I had to take some virgin olive oil and hot steaming water shower. So when I took my hot steaming shower, you pour the olive oil over you, and and then afterwards you can recite 119 when it talks about those who come against you. And that's supposed to protect you in that way. So it's various uses, we can use it in many, many different ways, Book of Psalms. There's something beautiful about the way Psalms operate on two levels at once. The literal poetry of ancient Israel, quote unquote, and the metaphysical current running beneath it that speaks directly to the inner life. So whenever I mention ancient in Israel, I'm gonna know that I'm talking about the spiritual ancient Israel, because there never was a real Israel that existed ever, and we all know this because we were pretty much, there's a lot of us that were alive at that time and before that time that knows better. So we're gonna say there never was literally an ancient Israel, because we know that it means Isis, Ra, and now. But they're gonna put this in here because they're it's faulty. The system is faulty. It's gonna always be faulty because it's able to put in falsehoods. And the metaphysical current running beneath it that speaks directly to the inner life. When people talk about the mysticism of the Psalms, they're pointing out to the second layer, the way these poems become a mirror, a ritual, and a doorway into deeper consciousness. Here's a way to think about it that aligns with the creative, symbolic, mystic sensibility. Okay? And I'm also going over this because I want you to understand what I was talking about yesterday on the video when I was saying mysticism is within every human being on earth, and we have the power. We just got to know it. You just got to know it. You know, um, you got to know thyself. You got to know it. They function as vibrational texts. The Psalms weren't just written, they were sung, they were chanted and intoned. And mystical traditions, sound is technology. The Psalms' use was repetition, rhythm, parallelism, and invocation. These patterns shift the mind into contemplative, almost trance-like state. It's less about the words and more about the frequency they create. They externalize the inner world. Every human emotion, fear, awe, despair, triumph, longing, surrender, appears in Psalms. Mystically, this is powerful because naming an emotion is a form of alchemy. Speaking it aloud moves it from the unconscious to the conscious. Once conscious, it can be transformed. The psalmist becomes a stand in for the reader's own psyche. They create a bridge between the finite and the infinite. Finite. The Psalms constantly oscillate between human vulnerability and divine vastness. This movement is itself a mystical practice. It trains the mind to hold paradox. I am small, yet connected to something immeasurable. I am afraid, yet I am held. I am lost, yet I am guided. This is the essence of contemplative mysticism. How the Psalms help us connect within. They awaken the inner sanctuary. Mystics often describe a sacred place within the self. The Psalms act like a key to that space by quieting the ego, softening emotional resistance, opening the heart. They create a sense of being witnessed by the divine, yes, but also by your own deeper self. They activate symbolic imagination. Someone who works with symbolism, ritual, and cinematic imagery. The Psalms are full of light, water, shadows, mountains, wings, paths, and storms. These symbols bypass rational thought and speak directly to the intuitive, im- imaginal mind. The same place your creative work comes from. They teach spiritual transmutation. Many psalms begin in despair and end in trust. This art mirrors the inner alchemical process. Chaos is clarity, fear, surrender, fragmentation, coherence. Reading or chanting them becomes a ritual enchantment of that transformation. The mystical thread running through them. Across Jewish, Christian, and esoteric traditions, and Psalms have been used as protection spells, healing chants, meditative mantras, tools for purification, gateways into altered states, anchors for spiritual grounding. Their power isn't in the literal meaning alone, it's in the way they shape consciousness. If you want, we can, okay, go deeper. The metaphysical symbolism of specific psalms, how to, okay. I'll probably have to do those researches later. But that is that. And that's your favorite scripture. Psalms, you love the book of Psalms. So yeah, like I said, I have much experience with the book of Psalms. I probably need to use it more often because from what it was saying about the emotions in the chanting, it seems like you can make you can balance yourself, bring yourself back into balance. So I'm not gonna hold too long. These I usually do a short lives. And so with that said, we're gonna bring it to an end. And I really appreciate you being here and whoever else is here. You're welcome to like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, always remember true love, real peace, your higher self within you, the soul. Till next time, peace.